So tell me your problems.
Do I look that concerned about things at the moment?
Whatever the trouble, the show must go on. This week we've got dancing from our favourite showgirl.
Beat that, Phil Spencer? I don't think so.
A spot of conjuring.
I can't pull rabbits out of hats, even though I dress like a magician.
There are some first-timers with first-night nerves.
That makes me feel scared.
And a search with one of the longest runs ever.
We've been looking for about 10 years and not found the right house yet.
Do you like it or not, Kika? Gut feel?
No.
But no matter what, we always put on a good performance.
I will strip naked, I swear.
This week we're in the southwest, where it's sink or swim for two couples who are oceans apart.
Plucky first-timers, Ellie and Mark, are prepared to dive headfirst into a market they know nothing about.
While old hands Kika and Ronnie have lost their footing more than once, but are now determined to find a home for keeps.
With one of the highest life expectancies in England, two stunning coastlines and wonderful countryside, it's not hard to see why our two couples are on the hunt for homes in the southwest.
Their areas of choice are the vibrant city of Bristol and the nearby county of Wiltshire.
Kika and Ronnie and Mark and Ellie are desperate for family homes, but they're not the only ones. And with the current market's chronic lack of supply, we're going to have to look hard and act fast.
Brilliant, thanks.
Our first couple are Operations Director Ronnie Coyle and his wife, full-time mum Kika. Their forever family home is taking forever to find.
So we've been looking for about 10 years and not found the right house yet.
10 years? We'd be out of a job if it took us that long.
The problem is Kika and Ronnie have got their hearts set on one location. They're bringing up their kids, Josh and Ellie, in the picturesque town of Bradford-on-Avon, and leaving it is not an option.
We think it's beautiful in here. There's a lot of lovely scenery, parks, and there's lots of facilities here. There's beautiful shops, there's doctors and a library and a swimming pool.
It's got everything that we need, and we don't want to move elsewhere.
They're also desperate to stay in the school catchment area. But housing stock is limited in this small town, and by their own admission, they have made property blunder after property blunder.
We've bought 3 houses in the last 10 years. And the first one wasn't child-friendly, and the second house was a fantastic house, 4-bedroom detached, but was in the wrong location. And the third house, which was a great location, but far too small.
Kika and Ronnie finally found a long-term home, but 2 days before they sold their own house, the vendor pulled out. Despite the setback, they continued with their sale and moved into rented, so they were ready to buy.
The importance of getting this move right is paramount because of what happened before.
We want to find the right house so we can put down proper roots. This house, we're hoping will stay in it, at least until the children leave school.
Yeah, and then some.
After 10 years of property pain, it looks like this pair are going to need some TLC.
This is a beautiful spot to me. We're only 5 minutes out of Bradford-on-Avon and we're out of your search area already.
Sorry.
You really want to be in the heart of it?
Yes.
I think,
sorry.
Yeah.
It's just nice to be able to walk everywhere and not to have to get in your car every time you step outside.
I think one of the main reasons for the family as well with Ellie and Josh, they're very settled with the schools, but also, particularly Ellie, she's now at an age where she's got a great circle of friends, and we don't want to disrupt that.
All I'm looking for is the opportunity to test a few of your boundaries.
Yes.
And that you're not going to be upset if I go, how about this, how about that, have you thought of this?
Yeah.
But what you have to accept in restricting the search area is that it therefore restricts the selections that I can put in front of you. You've obviously had a fairly torrid time, so we've got to get it right.
Yes.
Yes.
No pressure.
She said that very quickly. Yes, yes, Phil.
Kika and Ronnie have £350,000 to spend on a 3- or 4-bedroomed house, which must be in Bradford-on-Avon. That's a tiny search area of less than 2 square miles.
In fact, it's one of the smallest search areas we've ever had, and as if that wasn't enough, there's more.
They want a generous-sized living space with a large kitchen diner or potential to make one.
A good-sized garden for the children to play in.
And ideally, they want to be within walking distance of the local schools.
It's no wonder they've been looking for 10 years. With all this to factor in, we could count on our fingers the number of houses that might fit the bill.
Our other couple are junior doctor and NHS manager Mark and Ellie Devine. They've been married just over a year and last month gave up their life in London to find a first home in Bristol.
We decided to leave London when Mark graduated from medical school and saw it as an opportunity to move to a city that had the countryside nearby. We felt a bit hemmed in London.
We've left behind a lot of things, but we're hoping to find a lot of things here.
After years of saving and sacrifice, the move to Bristol means they're closer than ever to getting the house they've been dreaming of. But a new home means new challenges, particularly for this pair.
We're first-time buyers. Neither of us have had any involvement in buying a house before. We don't know what we're doing. We've never even looked at a house.
Mark and Ellie may have made a brave move, but with no experience in property buying, they are still feeling some first-time fears.
It will be the biggest purchase of our entire lives. And so I think I am quite scared at the prospect of making a mistake.
I think my divine first-timers will need a lot of hand-holding.
Come on, it's nothing you can't handle.
Just give me your vision for the next 5 years.
I suppose I see ourselves living in a house and having children and having a house that we can have people come and stay with us in.
The best bit about that sentence was that you got an approving, I wouldn't say grunt in agreement. But
No, I'm on message.
He's on message when it comes to kids.
Am I right in thinking you haven't seen anything?
Yes.
Yeah, that's right. We have had no involvement in anything to do with it. We're also aware that we haven't investigated the market properly here, but we do trust you have thoroughly investigated it for us and that what you show us will be the best that we can get for the money. So we're relatively able to compromise, we think.
That's fantastic. That's all I need to hear.
Mark and Ellie have got £250,000, but they're hoping to spend less. For that, they want a 2 or 3 bedroom home, ideal should they choose to start a family.
Mark wants lots of light, and they both want to be within half an hour's walk of the city centre. But to make matters worse, within the last 6 months, the market for homes at their budget has really taken off in Bristol, so we're up against fierce competition from other buyers.
So we've got 2 different couples and 2 very different challenges. I've got £350,000 to end 10 years of property pain for Ronnie and Kika in Bradford-on-Avon.
And 20 miles downstream in Bristol, I've got £250,000 to help brave first-timers Ellie and Mark make a brand new start in a brand new city.
How'd you get on? Are they nice?
They're great.
Yeah.
They know nothing. They are literally fresh out the packet. But they trust me, so that's a good start.
It's a first. Kika and Ronnie, I'm a bit worried about it. I don't want to sound like a scratch record, but they only want to live in a tiny, tiny, tiny area.
Let's get on with it.
Let's make a start.
Yeah.
Full steam ahead, Kirstie. So for Ronnie and Kika, it's Bradford-on-Avon or bust. And to be honest, it's hard to argue with the draw of this town. It's picturesque, has great transport links to Bath and Bristol, and is really family-friendly. But that means everybody wants to buy and nobody wants to sell.
I can smell compromise.
For my first property, I want to test them out on the south of Bradford-on-Avon, the opposite side to their current rental property. Nestled between the river and the canal, this quiet cul-de-sac is walking distance to the station, the supermarket and the town centre. And at £315,000, it's well under their £350 budget.
What about being on this side of town?
I'm a bit worried about that because the first thing I thought was we can't walk to school from here. But I know that the walking to school
I know that
very
it's
limiting.
important. It's a half-hour walk to school from here.
Yeah.
But there is a bus at the end of the road.
Yeah.
It's further than you'd ideally like to be.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
I'm mindful of that. Come on, let's have a look inside.
Okay.
We need to stop telling people we love a challenge. If Kika and Ronnie want to rule out this side of town, our search area will be nearly half what it was.
Tell me about it. I just hope they see sense when they get inside. This house has got everything they asked for. Decent-sized garden, 4 bedrooms, and that all-important kitchen diner.
I know the kitchen was the most important room.
Draw
so,
for me. Yeah.
Turn to you for first thoughts on it.
It feels like an office.
Yeah.
I think it's size-wise, it's not too bad.
The mixed use is making it feel smaller than it did if we did something to it.
Because they've got an office desk arrangement.
Yeah.
It's the size that we're really interested in here. At £315,000, there's plenty of room within your budget to tidy up. There's quite a bit of love and care that you'd want to do to it.
The tiles have got to go, especially the lime ones.
This kitchen has great potential. I just hope Kiko isn't so blinded by the lime green tiles that she can't see it.
Now, I know that the living space in any house is much more important to you than the sleeping space.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you see of what you get at the moment?
It's a bit smaller, yeah.
Oh dear, and this is more space than they'd get for their money in their preferred part of town. Something's gotta give.
I don't like the house enough to live this far from school.
No, I'm not. I'm not raving about it.
No.
No.
So good that we both agree.
I don't think it's the house for them. I suspect they'll say it's a bit too small and a bit too far away. Hello, hello.
Hello.
So, what's it to be? Worth seeing? You look horrified. It wasn't that bad.
It was interesting, but I don't think it's us. And there isn't a lot of space downstairs.
OK. So it lacks.
Yeah, which is worrying me, because I'm thinking if this is 315,000 and we can afford less uptown,
Yes.
then I'm not sure where we go from here.
That is the difficulty.
Yeah.
And that's what we're here to explore.
OK.
But it will be a challenge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It will definitely be a challenge.
Bristol may be more affordable, but young professionals are snapping up first homes and demand is outstripping supply. Mark and Ellie may be a bit green at the moment, but to get the home they want, they're going to have to get up to speed fast.
Remember, Kirstie, this is the first property they've ever viewed, so be gentle.
Oh, Phil. We're starting out in Bedminster, a popular area for first-time buyers. Nearby North Street is packed with shops, bars and restaurants.
Now, this house is big. It's charming inside. First impressions?
It's a great view out this way.
Yeah.
There are quite big windows here.
Yeah. You've
Looks
got
like there'll be
height.
light inside.
You've got height and light. Should we go in?
Yeah, definitely.
With a good-sized living room, 2 large bedrooms and lots of lovely period features, this Victorian terrace could be a great first property for Mark and Ellie. The garden and the kitchen need work, but it's $30,000 under budget, which leaves them with the cash to splash.
So good-sized room.
It's a nice living room.
And there's lots of light.
Because this is the first thing we've seen, I don't know whether you're those kind of cheery, smiley, positive about everything type of house hunters, or whether this is getting a thumbs up so far.
I think it's nice.
I think it's really nice.
They're making the right noises, but that doesn't mean they think it's the right house.
What are you feeling? This is the first house you viewed together, the first house you viewed with me.
It hasn't totally grabbed me. There's a lot in this place that we need to replace to feel comfortable living here.
Like
the wallpaper and various fittings that we've seen that we wouldn't like, and how long it would take to get it into a condition that you'd be satisfied with and would stop working on it.
Ellie?
I think I shouldn't be somewhere I'll be able to see endless things that I can do.
You know what this is about. They want their toy not to be a second-hand toy, but to be a brand new, shiny out-the-packet toy. And Bristol doesn't have very many of those. In fact, it has virtually none. Weirdly, I'm not at all irritated. You know how I am usually. But for some reason, I just really like this pair. And I don't know, I'm just going to try and find it. Don't know what's wrong with me.
Whatever it is, Kirstie, I hope it lasts.
Over in Bradford-on-Avon, Kika and Ronnie want to spend £350,000 on a family home with stacks of living space and a decent-sized garden.
Easier said than done. This town is so small that Kika and Ronnie have spent 10 years trying to get it right, and I've got days.
Don't worry, Phil. I'm here to hold your hand.
So are you just stopping in on the way to the wedding, Phil?
What?
Well, you're wearing a waistcoat, a coloured waistcoat.
Yes. It's quite fancy. I thought it was quite fetching.
Yeah, it is quite
A
fetching.
sporting number.
Yeah. So what did they think of the first house once they got over the blinding sight of your pink waistcoat?
My waistcoat went down better than the house, that's for sure. As well as being too small, it was in the wrong part of town, which means we've had to rule out a huge number of properties south of the river, leaving my search area at just over 1 square mile and around 30 streets.
Thank goodness this property is on the north side of Bradford-on-Avon and right between both children's schools. With its period features and masses of living space, it ticks all the boxes except one. It's on the market at £395,000. That's £45,000 over their budget. But we think there's a deal to be done.
So, here we are.
On the north side of the river, so back where we wanted to be, really.
Yep.
Minutes walk from Ellie's school, what do you reckon?
Minutes, yeah, it is.
2 minutes?
It looks lovely.
Oh,
Yeah.
ooh.
I didn't expect that either.
No, well, it's just really like the outside, very much.
This was an old weaver's cottage. In fact, it was 3 cottages,
Yeah.
and it was converted into one big detached house in about the 50s.
When they stopped weaving, because people started buying suit material from the moon.
Stay out of reach.
Come on, Phil, let's get you and your waistcoat inside. This house has got bags of character. There are 3 large bedrooms upstairs, one with its own attic room, and downstairs there's a huge sitting room, a conservatory, and a 4th bedroom off the kitchen.
Come on in then. Have to duck your heads a little bit.
Yeah, but once you're in, actually, it feels quite roomy. This is your kitchen, and you eat in the conservatory where you can just about fit a sofa as well.
Yeah.
Standing like that's not giving me a positive vibe.
House outside is great. When I walked in, though, it's nice, it's quirky. My first impressions, it's a bit quirky.
Too quirky.
I'm not sure about this.
I think it's got a nice feel to it, so I'd like to see some more and talk about what we could do. Because I'd like this area to be, to feel more spacious.
Yeah, it's got the square footage. You could easily redesign this space so it felt bigger. Nowadays, with kitchen design as it is, you can get stuff into much better spaces.
Kika's seeing the potential, but I think Ronnie is looking at it a bit differently.
Ellie would love this. She really would, actually.
You think Ronnie's going to veto this house, don't you?
Yeah.
Who's the pickier?
I think it's... No, actually, no, it's Ronnie. I thought it was me, but actually, when I think about looking at houses, there have been houses that I've really liked that Ronnie hasn't. And I think he tends to make more of an instant decision. If there's one feature wrong, then that's it.
It was when we got into the kitchen that he didn't seem to be a happy bunny.
No. No, his body language went all defensive at that point. Yeah, I wasn't quite sure what it was for him then. I think it might have been space.
You don't think it was Phil's waistcoat?
That was throwing him. No, he's kind of got to terms with that now.
That location is absolutely ideal. You couldn't get it any better.
So, is the compromise of the kitchen too great a one?
Could I compromise? Yeah, I don't know. Could I compromise? I'm not sure. I'm worried about that. Because I think it's been such a big thing for us.
We'll have to see if Kika can talk Ronnie round. And I think Phil could use a pep talk too.
So tell me your problems.
Do I look that concerned about things at the moment?
Well, I feel you need to...
I'm in the psychiatrist chair.
You are in the psychiatrist's chair, and I'm the best therapist around.
Do you do massages as well?
I knew you were going to ask me that. As soon as those words were out my mouth, I thought he's going to ask whether I do massages. No, Phil.
Well, we're going to need a bit of a therapist.
Oh, this is lovely.
Oh, Dan, this is lovely.
Do you want my opinion on it?
I think I'm going to get it anyway.
He says no to everything. He just says no. Don't know why, can't put my finger on it yet. But it is about Ronnie saying no.
I hope you're wrong.
So what do you think?
It's got nice parts of it, but I think the kitchen, I just can't get my head around the kitchen. I'm not sure about it, though. I think you're...
Yeah, but I don't want to make you live in a house that I like more than you do. Oh, that lounge is lovely, though.
Hello, kids.
We were working. Flat out.
Yeah. So?
I'm unsure.
I think I like it a wee bit more than you do at the moment.
Yeah.
But you're not about to burst into tears and say it's the one for me, please,
no,
please,
because
please.
I don't think it's actually going to move him very much yet.
She'll save that up. She'll keep that trick.
Yeah.
I can see it might be me turning on the waterworks before this search is done. But after 3 failed moves in the last 10 years, these two are determined to make the right choice. And I'm determined to find it for them.
Don't worry, Phil. I'm always available if you need a little more therapy. After a short and not-so-sweet first viewing, it's clear Mark and Ellie want a house they can move straight into. I aim to please, so I'm taking them to the most pristine property I've ever been in.
So what we did is found you the cleanest house I've ever been in.
Really?
If Mark finds something in that house that's unclean, I will strip naked, I swear. And it's also a very sweet street.
Look out then.
Yeah.
Mark, no, you will not be on the lookout.
Don't worry, Mark, I'll be keeping my eyes peeled too.
This house has got 2 light and airy reception rooms, 3 good-sized bedrooms and an attic room with great potential. It's in the vibrant, artsy location of Southville. And at £235,000, I really think it could be the grown-up family home they need.
But it came on the market yesterday, and although we're one of the first to see it in Bristol, properties at this level are flying. So if Mark and Ellie are keen, we've got to keep our eyes on the ball.
Right, in we come. So...
Oh, it's lovely.
It's a nice open feeling to it because there's so much glass.
It's
Lots of light that filters
incredibly light,
through.
yeah.
And I like the fact that the work has already been done by somebody else.
I thought you might.
I can see us living here, which is what I couldn't see yesterday.
Do you want to go and have a look
I want to
upstairs?
see the rest of it, yeah.
You can go without me, it's okay. Go on.
Should we do that?
Yeah,
Okay.
definitely.
House number 2. Beat that, Phil Spencer? I don't think so.
I'm not even going to try and beat those dance moves.
I think it's good enough to live in.
That makes me feel scared.
Well, at some point, we're going to have to buy a house. And this is a pretty good house.
Yeah, it is. It's really nice.
This is a very strong contender.
It's really, really nice. And now we're here, it feels like it's not something that we should be able to have. It feels quite... Do you know what I mean?
But it's within our budget.
Yeah.
And it's very nicely done up.
You've saved for a long time, so this is something you deserve.
I could see us living here. It's really, really nice. On the other hand, I can't see us living here because it's such a big jump from where we are now, but that's what we want. So...
Got to jump, Ellie.
It's the second house they've ever looked at in a city that they are new to, so it's no surprise that Ellie is scared. Liking a house is one thing, but committing to buy it will take a whole lot more courage.
Today, I've got a new challenge for Kika and Ronnie. After their 10-year search in Bradford-on-Avon, I'm taking them 5 minutes out of town to try and get the space that Ronnie so desperately wants. It's a risk, but I'm hoping it might just pay off.
2 miles away in the lovely village of Lower Westwood, you can get a lot more property for your pound. At nearly £300,000, this house may lack curb appeal, but it is way under budget and bigger than both those we showed them yesterday. It's got 4 bedrooms, 3 reception rooms and a good-sized sheltered garden.
Just give me your initial reactions of where we are.
We've looked around here before, so the area we do quite like.
Yeah.
Because we've looked at some houses here before and it's quite quiet. That was one of the things we found about this before we looked at houses. So it's a nice quiet area and we've got some friends here. So we're not, it's not unknown to us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, your reward for coming 2 miles out of town is that this is the biggest thing I'm going to show you.
Sure. Right.
And it's the cheapest thing I'm going to show you.
Wow.
Really? All right.
Seriously?
Yeah. It's on the market at just under 300,000.
Okay.
4 proper bedrooms.
Yeah.
3 reception rooms.
Oh, wow.
You love the fireplace.
I love it, yeah. Really like that.
The fireplace or...
The fireplace.
Well, the fireplace is a good start, Phil.
But downstairs, there's a lot of room, and although the kitchen doesn't deliver on size, the dining room does, and I've got a cunning plan to get them the terrific family kitchen they've been after.
Subject to a little bit of planning permission, we build into there. So we take this wall, this corner out...
Yeah.
And move it back.
And just move it back 3 or 4 foot.
Yeah.
Which would bring the kitchen into it. These rooms would now feel properly linked because this wouldn't be here.
I'm not sure if that would persuade Kika.
You let her
Are you talking about me like I'm not here?
Well, it started well. Now it sounds like the kitchen's going to be the sticking point. Unless they can work out what compromise they're prepared to accept, then the option is they're going to end up staying in rented. And they say that's not acceptable. Something's got to shift.
I just don't feel like I like the house enough to live that far from Bradford, and I'm feeling that you like this more than I do.
Well, I like it more than the ones yesterday, yeah. See, you're being picky today.
Yeah, I know.
Yesterday, I thought Ronnie was the spanner in the works, but today it's Kika who's jamming the spokes.
I like the house, but it's me that spends the most amount of time in the house, and here I feel isolated.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, listen, we both need to be happy about it.
Yeah.
Seriously. It's, I think the interesting thing is, we said we had the same taste, but yesterday you liked the house. And I didn't, and it's reversed today.
Yeah, we have to kind of start really defining whether the location is more important than the house, or the house is more important than the location. You're looking for the location, and Ronnie's looking for the house.
Yeah.
And the two haven't matched up in all the time that you've been looking. I can't pull rabbits out of hats, even though I dress like a magician.
Because we've built up quite a very close circle in Bradford-on-Avon, there has to be a compromise. So maybe you don't get your huge kitchen, I don't know.
Could you deal with that?
Don't know. But I haven't got one here, and I'm living in Westwood.
You could
But
get one.
you could do one, yeah. Okay.
There's going to have to be some compromise. And I think the house yesterday, for me, no.
So, so hang on, there's going to be some compromise, but it's not going to be on the house that I liked and you didn't.
Double standards.
Oh, you set yourself up for that one, Ronnie.
But at least they've started talking about compromise. It's just a question of who's going to make it. I've got just one place left, but first I'm off to Bristol to join Kirstie at her next property in Totterdown.
Years ago, we found a house on this very street for another pair of first-time buyers, and it was love at first sight.
Our lives have come full circle, Phil.
What, back on this street in Totterdown?
Back on this street in Totterdown.
How many
When was
years
it?
do you think it was?
8, 9 years ago.
Yeah.
And the houses are about 100 grand more expensive
Yeah.
now.
Very nice houses, though.
Very nice houses.
Are we hopeful here?
Nah, we've already found it. They're really nice, and it's all going great guns, and you're just along for the ride.
OK.
Kirstie may think the 3-bed in Southville is a done deal, but I've got a good feeling about this one. Totterdown's a popular family area, closer to the city centre than the previous properties, and right next to a park. The house is £215,000, and amazingly, it's been on the market for 2 months, so hopefully less chance of competition from other buyers.
I wouldn't bet on it, but I can see why it might not have sold. It's split over 3 storeys with the bathroom 2 floors from the master bedroom, and it's only got 2 bedrooms, while others in the street have 3. But if they could get over their phobia of taking on a bit of work, they could put that extra bedroom in the attic.
So,
Wow. Wow, great view.
great view.
So that is what sells this road, and particularly this side of the road.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The higher up the house you go, the better the view gets.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's lovely.
This is only a 2-bedroom place, but you do have the potential going up into the loft, of which lots of people have done up and down the street.
The 3-bedroom criteria is that at some point we're going to need 3,
Yeah.
but if that's not immediately now and we can get this for tens of thousands of pounds less than we could get somewhere else, then that might not be such an issue.
How are you feeling about the search and the decisions and the speed that the market's moving at?
I think we're going to have to make a decision quite quickly.
There's an awful lot of activity in the market, and it's right at this level. It's at the 2 to 250
Yeah.
where activity is at the greatest.
This place and the last place that we looked at, I think both Mark and I are feeling the same, feeling that we really, really like both the houses, and they're really, really different. So I feel a bit confused.
Well, there you go, Kirstie. Seems now there's 2 in the running.
You're quite taken with this house, aren't you?
I am, yes. I think it might be a difficult decision to make between the more practical second option or the more interesting third option.
It's real head-heart stuff. And, I mean, what's your gut if I put you on the spot, Mark?
Having only seen the rooms I've seen so far, I'm erring towards this one so far. I think that doesn't make sense practically.
No, it does. Home is where the heart is. And if your heart says this is your home, then...
Oh, how eloquently put, Kirstie.
I could imagine us being here more, but the other place was more practical.
I thought it was going to be early bath.
No, more work to do. They are very confused. But that's part of what we do.
What, to confuse people?
Yeah, you have to show them all the options and they get a bit confused, and then they consider all the options and we help them along and they make a nice, confident decision.
Right, OK. You make it sound quite simple.
I think I've confused myself. Well, there you go, gang. Confused? Even further? But happily confused.
Yeah.
Pleasantly demented.
It's a good spot to be.
The house is lovely. It feels more homely than the last house, but I don't know if in a couple of years we'd want to move in out of here and into somewhere like the last place.
So I'm confused, they're confused, and Ellie's still scared.
Sounds like the perfect time for you all to go off and have a long, hard think. I hope that's what my couple have been doing as well. Back in Bradford-on-Avon, Ronnie and Kika have yet to be convinced by any of my offerings, but I just may have pulled it out of the bag.
For starters, it's back where Kika and Ronnie want to be, in the north of Bradford-on-Avon, a short walk from both schools.
It is a bungalow, but aside from that, there's nothing too quirky for Ronnie. It's got 3 double bedrooms, a small office cum guest room, and has been extended to create a huge lounge. It's even got the long 4 kitchen diner for Kika. Fingers crossed it's big enough to please.
Bradford-on-Avon, so full marks there for Phil. How does it feel to be?
It's lovely, I feel at home. We lived in 2 houses around the corner from here. We got our first house literally yards from where we are now. Yeah. So this is feeling like home territory.
But it was the wrong house.
Yeah, OK.
You didn't like it? No. That doesn't fill me with lots of glee and happiness. Yeah. Okay. Come on then. Now, seeing as the kitchen been a bit of an issue, we'll tackle that head on. And first thing, very contemporary.
Right. OK, I love the tile. I think the kitchen is a bit contemporary. Sorry. You know what I mean? It's a bit hard-edged.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but it's nice. It's a nice style.
How about size?
Yeah, it's a good size.
Do you like it or not, Kika? Gut feel?
No, sorry.
You're more for sort of...
Yeah, I'm a bit Little House on the Prairie.
Bottom of the class, Kika. It's not about style, it's about space.
Well, this is what your £310,000 would buy you. Because the house has been extended, it's been extended into the garden.
Yeah.
Now you've seen the compromise.
Yeah.
The compromise is the garden. You've got great space in the house. It's £310,000, very affordable. It's right where you wanted it to be. Kika?
Yeah, I think if we're thinking long term, we're not going to buy a house with a tiny garden.
I don't know why I'm smiling, because I'm feeling a bit troubled. But I guess I'm smiling at the massive problems that we've got.
Yeah, yeah.
Because it's size of garden and size of house and location.
Yeah, effectively, we're not compromising, are we?
House 4, and they're still thinking you'll pull a rabbit out the hat, Phil.
It does have a small garden. I don't disagree with them. But this is where they wanted to live. It's in the middle of town. The houses here don't have gardens where you can kick a football and ride a bike. That's the way it is. So what? It's the same for everyone. Go to the park.
Look at those drawers.
Yeah.
That's where they put all their stuff. So instead of in cupboards, it's all the baking stuff's tucked away in the drawers.
I shouldn't complain. It's not my money, but then I'm not the one that's desperate for a house. I'm just a bit frustrated because I don't think I'm getting it anywhere at all. Well, certainly not very quickly.
Poor under pressure Phil. Maybe you really did need that massage.
You caught me with my arms folded, so I shouldn't do it. We'll take it in turns. Did it change any opinion?
No.
No.
No, it didn't.
So where does that leave us with the Weaver's cottage?
I'd quite like to go and have another look at that, because I'm wondering if that's a compromise house.
It is, but I'm also worried about the price of it. And I know there's room for negotiation, but that's one of my concerns.
Understood. I think it's valid. But it still feels to me we've got a lot of ground to cover. So tomorrow's another crunch day, I'm afraid.
OK.
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 Kika and Ronnie have seen everything we've got. It's the best there is on the market. But will their fear of making another wrong decision stop them from making any decision at all?
First-time buyers Mark and Ellie have been agonising over 2 properties, the practical 3-bed in Southville and the trendy 2-bed in Totterdown. They love both properties, but they've decided to take another look at the Totterdown 2-bed.
How does it feel to be back?
It's nice.
It feels good to be back. I'm just torn between the 2 houses. They both got pros and cons. So, yeah, I don't know what.
You are still torn between the 2 properties.
Yes.
Mark, are you torn at all?
Less so. I think I want this one.
Obviously, for Mark and Ellie, this is a really big decision, but I've got some unexpected news that might help make up their minds.
Yesterday, I told you that this was on the market at 215,000. You could possibly get it for 210 because it had been on the market for a couple of months. When we came here this morning, the vendor said that he had received an asking price offer. And Andy, the agent, I have not yet been able to speak to. Mm-hmm. He is on a viewing, he has got his phone switched off. It's not a blow, it doesn't mean you've lost it or anything like that. Yeah. It should only worry you from the point of view of preventing you buying this house as cheaply as you might want to. But it's not a disaster yet. But it is reflective of the dramatic change in the market that we've seen. Do you know what I think the worst case scenario might be? Sealed bids.
Oh no.
I know, I'm really sorry.
This house has been on the market for 2 months, so the offer from another party is really bad luck. I'm finding out all I can from the agent.
I suppose we need to think fast.
But Mark and Ellie are out of time. They love this house, and they need to act fast or they're going to lose it.
Over in Bradford-on-Avon, I've had some news too.
Well, pretty disappointing, really. Kika and Ronnie rang last night and they've now ruled out a return visit to Weaver's Cottages, so that's off the list. I've been back through my lists and there really is nothing else suitable. This is not a big town.
I'm doing everything in my power to find them the right house. I'm tapping locals for information and putting flyers through doors just in case someone wants to sell.
It's not for sale?
No, definitely not.
Any price?
Is he looking for his hair?
You've got to try everything, haven't you?
Back in Bristol, Mark and Ellie are torn between 2 properties, but an offer from another party on the Totterdown house has cut down their thinking time.
So, we're being slightly rushed into some decision making. I don't think house number 3 has trodden on house number 2. I think house number 2 is there in your mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's a sort of head over heart thing.
Yeah, I think we're going
Heart, I think.
heart over
Heart's won
head.
out so far.
So what you think at the moment is house number 3, Totterdown, that's what you want, if you can get it.
Yeah.
The question is, do we offer at 215 and say, do what you want with these 2 offers, toss a coin, go to seal bids, whatever? Or do we go in at 220 and say, right, take our offer, we've put £5,000 of clear blue sea between ourselves and the other purchasers?
What do you think?
I think we can go to 220, but I think that would be our max.
What I'm inclined to do in this scenario is discuss it with the agent and say, look, I don't want to hike up the price any more than I have to.
Yeah.
If they say no, I'm gonna want it.
Oh, hi, can I speak to Kia, please? Hi, it's Kirstie. The situation is that they do want the house. So if I came in at 218... OK, I'll leave that with you, Kia. Thanks, OK, bye.
So what?
He's going to ring the vendor and get back to us.
Right.
Ellie and Mark are smitten with this house, but with the offer on the table, it's now out of our hands.
That evening, the agent informed us that there was a third interested party and the house was going to go to sealed bids the following morning, so Mark and Ellie decided to up their offer to $219,000. After that, all we could do was wait.
We've tried everything to get Kika and Ronnie the house they want in Bradford-on-Avon. Now, I'm going to see them in their rented property to discuss where we go from here.
What happened overnight? I thought we were going back to see the Weaver's cottage.
I couldn't see myself living in that house, and at that point I was saying I don't think we should go back and see it, because I thought it would be a wasted journey.
And Kika, how did that go down?
I think there's no point in us buying a house that Ronnie's not entirely happy with.
And how did that go down?
Feeling a bit flat at this point, because I'd really hoped. But if it's not the right house, then I don't want to make another mistake.
Sure.
And, you know, have it as another move.
Yeah. So I'm really worried. I'm really worried that the availability is a lot smaller than I ever even thought that it was. And I started this process thinking it was small.
It's made me realise it's difficult for what we're looking for.
It's more than difficult. Difficult we can handle. Difficult we get every week. Virtually impossible is virtually impossible. Yeah. And I guess what concerns me as well is that we don't seem to have resolved who's going to make the compromise. That's where we're at. Someone, somewhere, needs to give some ground.
Yeah.
Distance to school or size of house.
Yeah.
I can't help you with that, because there's no... Professionally, there is no right or wrong. It's simply down to you guys.
Yeah.
After this, it's up to you. When you get into a house, make sure you're the first one through the door, and make sure you have that conversation about who is going to make that compromise, and then do it. Follow up on it.
Yeah.
I refuse to have Kika and Ronnie searching for another 10 years. I really hope my advice hits home.
In Bristol, Mark and Ellie have spent a nerve-wracking 24 hours waiting to hear if they have won the sealed bids on the Totterdown 2-bed.
Hello there.
Mark, it's Kirstie. Can you talk?
I can, yeah.
The other party outbid you considerably.
Considerably?
Considerably.
They went way above the asking price and they had double the deposit. Whatever you do, you need to keep your finger 100% on the pulse.
Yeah, OK. That makes a lot of sense.
I think ring me if you need me.
OK, thanks a lot, Kirstie.
Thank you, Kirstie. Thanks for your help.
Okay.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
It's a real blow for Mark and Ellie, and unfortunately it wasn't the only disappointment. Still keen on the Southville 3-bed, they put in an asking price offer. But once again, the Bristol market proved hard to beat. It went to sealed bids, and again they lost out.
But this plucky pair weren't in the mood for giving up. Following our lead, they had the confidence to take on the fierce Bristol property market and continued their search.
In doing the search with Kirstie and Phil, we became a lot more confident about going out and finding a house and just putting an offer in.
Our advice has certainly paid off. Mark and Ellie have found a real gem within budget at $245,000. With 3 bedrooms, a large dining kitchen and a good-sized sitting room, this terraced house provides them with more than enough room for guests and any new additions to the family.
We saw it and really, really liked it and put in an offer there and then and spoke to the people who own the property there and then and just went in at asking price, and that was it really. I think we are confident that we made the right decision in moving to Bristol. It seems like a really good city, and the more we get to know it and meet people, the more we like it. We're really excited about moving in and living in a proper house and setting up a home.
So one of our couples are set to up sticks in the near future, but what of Kika and Ronnie? The last time we saw them, it seemed they were going nowhere fast.
After this, it's up to you. When you get into a house, make sure you're the first one through the door, and make sure you have that conversation about who is going to make that compromise, and then do it. Follow up on it.
Yeah.
Fear not, Kirstie. The day after I left them with my advice ringing in their ears, there was an amazing turnaround. And I'd like to take at least a little bit of credit.
Phil's advice to us was to pounce if we saw anything, act really quickly, get to know all the agents and be really proactive constantly. So we took this to heart, and instantly. I mean, it's 4 o'clock literally in the morning.
The next day.
The next day, when I was on the internet looking for things and saw this house.
We did know about this property, but frustratingly couldn't show it to them as it was under offer at the time. But the sale fell through, and the day after I left, it was back on the market. After 10 years of searching, our house-buying veterans were quick to spot their chance.
We still wake up in the morning and can't quite believe we live here, you know, which hasn't happened for a very long time.
At £375,000, the house was 25k over budget, and with a smaller kitchen than they would have hoped, some compromises have been made. Nevertheless, Kika and Ronnie are 100% confident they have found their forever home.
This is home, isn't it? We're not moving anywhere ever.
We're not moving again.
Touchwood.
Seriously, we're not moving. No plans to move. I'm staying here. and the removal men will get no more money out of us.
Looks like Bradford-on-Avon's property market's going to be a Kika and Ronnie free zone.